It's 5 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order and roll call, please.
Franklin Hahn,
Here.
Dean Hoppel, Wayne Runnigan,
Here.
Ken Visker,
Here.
Ken Anderson.
Okay, did everybody get a chance to read the minutes? Any questions, comments, additions, corrections to it?
I move we accept the minutes.
Motion to accept the minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All signify in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay, I guess you can go ahead. You want to read the first one we have?
All right. So please take notice that an application has been received from the following persons for a variance of setback requirements. Robert and Lori Ellens in Section 10, Township 101, Range 6 of Houston County, within Caledonia Township. It is variance to reduce setback requirements for an expansion of an existing feedlot from dwellings. A hearing on this application will be held at the Houston County Commissioners Room in the city of Caledonia, Minnesota at 5 p.m. on Thursday, May 22nd of 2025. All persons having an interest in the matter may attend the hearing or submit comments relative to the granting or denying of said application. Comments should be mailed to the Environmental Services Department or emailed to myself and must be received by Tuesday, May 13th of 2025 to be included for review prior to the hearing. All comments are considered part of the public record. This was advertised on May 7th of 2025.
Do you want to come forward and explain to the board why you're after seeking a variance?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Variance is needed from Joanne's house across the road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All three of them,
And
actually.
that's where you'll see where we're putting our pit is on the back side of our farm, not right there. Not out by a road or any place, but that's why we built the shed there with the plans of building a pit there. So that's basically why we need the variance. That's the only house that's in the area that would have to be a variance from, I guess.
So, to give a little background, I don't know if you guys stayed late last week at all, stayed late, or last month. But he went through the conditional use process last month, looking to construct a manure storage structure. And he is under the 300 animal units, but when we got looking at, kind of the incremental development that's taken place, or expansion that's taken place there over the last decade or so, it looked like, there was a fair amount that had been added. Jeremy has 169 animal units to 251. And so the feedlot rules do require variances for for expansions of farms to existing dwellings. That same logic was applied to the farm that's across the road. And so as he identified, there's actually 3 dwellings there, kind of all under the same ownership that are within that quarter-mile setback. So this request is to encompass all 3 of those.
So this came about because of the earthen pit.
Yeah. By the time we kind of figured out that this was needed, it was pretty tight to get it so that he could have just taken care of this all last month. And with the timelines and stuff going to the board, it didn't hold him back that much.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
The neighbors okay with that?
Mike was here last time and talked,
Yep.
Yeah.
and,
Yep, I heard them.
okay, so if he was going to say something, I thought he would have said something then. I think the other neighbors that I've talked to that came to the farm is the location of the pit. And putting it on the backside of the farm doesn't really concern anybody as long as I wasn't putting it by the road. So that's the main thing that people have come and stopped in and seen and then said, okay, we don't have a problem with where you're building it.
Yeah, the green building is actually a calf barn that's new and just not within our aerials, and it's the closest to a couple of those houses, so that's why I drew it in. The pit, which is not to scale at all, is that pink structure. That's where that's going.
There wasn't any, well, the board might have more questions. There wasn't any from the comments from the public, the way I understand.
Nope, not this time around.
You already have a feedlot permit.
Yes.
So this is basically an addition or an expansion of that.
Yes.
And I'm curious why you need a variance. I'm confused.
Because the ordinance requires that, like, not only a new dwelling needs a variance from the feedlot, but feedlots need, a new feedlot or expansion of an existing feedlot need need a setback from existing dwellings. And so this project, while it doesn't include an expansion, when we got looking at animal unit numbers, and that's on the first page of your packet, there's been quite an increase in animal unit numbers over the last 10 years or so, and that have not been reflected in any variance at all. And so that's why I guess we made him do it now, since he was going through the permitting process for everything else, just to bring it up to par.
Your standards, okay.
The one building right next to where we're building the manure pit, we have roughly 120 dairy cows in there. And it can hold 140, but, so that's why they're building the pit for 14 months storage for 140 animals. So we're building it for the size of the building that we have already. And that's about as big as we want to get. You know, we don't want to go to 1,800 or 2,000 or 500. We're happy with 140 to 120.
No. Well, I guess we can go on to the findings if there's, we can go back to more questions afterward.
Or is there other public comment?
Pardon?
Is there public?
Comments?
I asked, oh, I'm sorry. Was there any comments from the public that's sitting out here?
I did talk to the neighbor, the Rasks. They felt this pit was a really good idea. And he's got the farm right next to him over
Used to be the Deemer Farm,
Oh, yeah, I know which one you mean.
Margaret's.
Any other comments?
So this pit, is it more of a silo pit or is it a pond?
It will be cement, 8-foot walls, and clay around the outside, so it's covered with dirt, and then a fence on top of that, so nobody can get near it. But being that we're using sand for bedding, there'll be a ramp put down so we can drive down in there and clean it out. And the plan is, like every November, when the corn silage is off, start knifing it in where we got the corn silage off, and then the bean ground, and then go to where we take high moisture off and continue on. So we want to empty it every year.
And is there enough to hold it for a whole year? or
14 months
14 months.
over, yep.
Not that it makes any difference, but the ones that use sand that have these, do they have much of a buildup? To your knowledge?
No, this is the only way that you can handle sand and put it into a pit, and normally it just flows away from where you put it in to the far end. If the floor has any slope at all, it moves to the far end. So that's why you gotta go get it, and the sand is basically sets down there, and then you can go scoop it out and take the other liquid away from that before with the pump. In other words, you can't use sand in any other, like harvesters or anything. Sand ain't, you gotta go with a mattress and change, but We've had very good luck with sand with our cattle, and we don't have hoof problems, we don't have mastitis problems. A lot of problems are solved. So why change something
Yeah.
when it works?
I was just curious about the sand. It doesn't have
Yep.
anything to do with your variance. Always trying to learn something. All right, there's any other comments? Why, then we'll go to the findings.
Okay. So number one, that the variance request is in harmony with the intent and purpose of official controls. Staff analysis states that this is an existing registered feedlot in an agricultural community, and there is a larger feedlot across the road from this site.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go ahead.
Number two, that there are practical difficulties in complying with the official controls and the proposed use of the property is reasonable. Economic considerations alone do not constitute practical difficulties. Staff analysis states that the applicants operate a registered feedlot that was established prior to the current zoning rules being established.
All in favor of two signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go ahead.
Three, that the variance request is due to special conditions or circumstances unique to the property and not created by the property owner. Analysis states that this is an area of the county used heavily for agriculture, and as a result, there are a number of registered feedlots as well as dwellings in the vicinity of the feedlot location.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go ahead.
Four, that the variance cannot be alleviated by a reasonable method other than a variance, and the minimum variance which would alleviate the practical difficulty is sought. Analysis states that the applicants operate a registered feedlot that was established prior to the current zoning rules being established.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go ahead.
Five, that the variance will not alter the essential character of the locality nor substantially impair property values or the public health, safety, or general welfare in the vicinity. Analysis states that there are several other feedlots found near this location, some of which are larger feedlots.
All in favor of five say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go ahead.
And six, that the request is not a use variance or shall not have the effect of allowing any use that is not allowed in the zoning district, permit a lower degree of flood protection than the regulatory flood protection elevation, or permit standards lower than those required by state law. Analysis states that this is an area variance and is not in the vicinity of floodplain.
All in favor of six say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Motion to accept the findings.
So move.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Is there any other questions from the board before we move on to granting the variance or denying it? If not, would you read the,
Yep. And I was just
or
gonna.
do you have something?
No, well, I was just gonna state that I have numbers different than what are written in your packet, so, so the motion, or the proposed motion would be to grant a variance of 1,030 feet, 980 feet, and 333 feet for an animal unit expansion to meet the 1,320 foot setback required to 3 existing dwellings.
So move.
Why, just a question, why did the footage change?
I did not look at that closely prior to the board packet
I
going
was just
out.
curious. Motion on the floor to grant.
Second.
Any more discussion? Roll call vote.
Wayne Runnigan,
Yes.
Franklin Hahn,
Yes.
Ken Visker,
Yes.
Hannah Anderson, and Dean are absent.
All right, thank you for coming in.
You want this signed?
No, you don't have to worry about that.
All right, thank you.
Good luck.
Welcome. Now we gotta wait a little bit for the next one.
So Larry's in the hospital.
Yeah, he called me. Said he was, staples came loose or something. Huh. One thing after another, isn't it?
That's what I told him.
Yeah. Oh, it is 5:15. We can go ahead. with the next one if you're ready.
I am. So, please take notice that an application was received from the following persons for a variance of setback requirements. Tom and Judy Vicks, who are in Houston Township, Section 25, Township 104, Range 7 of Houston County. And they're looking for a variance to reduce setback requirements for proposed dwelling from an existing feedlot. A hearing on this application will be held at the Houston County Commissioners Room in the city of Caledonia at 5:15 PM on Thursday, May 22nd of 2025. All persons having an interest in the matter may attend the hearing or submit comments relative to the granting or denying of said application. Comments should be mailed to the Environmental Services Department or emailed to myself and must be received by Tuesday, May 13th of 2025 to be included for review prior to the hearing. All comments are considered part of the public record. And again, that was advertised on May 7th of 2025.
Okay. Hey,
Aye.
you want to explain to the board? I understand you're going to build a dwelling, so you go ahead.
Sure.
You got
So
it.
we went up to Amelia 7 weeks ago looking to solve a problem. My father would like to move out onto the farm with us. And our existing house, we have two sections of our house. The first one is pre-1860. It's a log house it's pretty old.
Yeah.
And our new addition is 1904. And so the house has two bedrooms. One bedroom, I can't stand up in. It's got the slanted thing. And so we have a steep stairway. We don't have any bathroom upstairs. And so having him move in with us was not an option. So we looked at what we could do and we looked at what would be the least obtrusive. And Amelia came up with, we have a quarter section line through our backyard. So we can put a structure within probably 150 feet of the house and have a structure there. We thought it was all gonna be good, elevation was good, all the quarter section was fine. And then afterwards, Amelia called us and said that there was a feed lot. We needed a variance, because I don't know, Amelia, what are the distances?
You're close. You were 1,200 feet away.
100 feet from the 1,500, we're short. So we could either move that structure to another area, which would have caused other very problems, elevation, distances. So we tried to minimize the variances, but we're 100 feet off from the feedlot of 1,500 feet. Our house is closer to the feedlot than this is. And so we came up with a plan to put a 14 by 36 log cabin, which kind of matches our house cabin. That would be be able to use 4 seasons. And then my dad would be able to spend it out there with us the rest of his life. So that was the goal.
So is this an addition or is this a new house?
This is a new house,
So then,
standalone house.
would they fall into the category that they'd have to remove the old one then?
Nope, so I actually put the quarter lines up here. And as you can see, so this structure is their house, and
Okay,
then this is actually an open quarter.
oh, okay.
So he could,
Different quarter.
we talked about an interim use, but he could actually permit it just as an actual permanent dwelling and go that route instead. Which seemed simpler at the time until this was brought up.
Well, I was just curious if it's, okay.
So that house is into the campground area?
No, it's behind, the campground's to the left, up there would be on the left side. It's right behind our house, so I don't know if Amelia, can you point to where it's gonna be?
This will be where the new one is.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that's kind of septic for the campground. And then the other item that is a pretty limiting factor for that area is the floodplain. And there's some maps in your board packet. Blue is actually shaded is a FEMA floodplain. But then just looking at some of the elevations, even to go down into this area, while it's not actually mapped as floodplain, the elevations actually are pretty similar, so they would have to bring in a lot of fill. And it's just better to stay out of those areas too, if possible.
Well, then he's closer to the house.
Yes,
Yeah,
and keeps the elevation good, and you've got utilities that are there a little closer then too. Also, just the, being able to be part of the family,
Yeah.
you know.
'The campground,
Yeah.
I don't know where the campground is then. Is it
It's to the,
where the blue is up there? Oh,
We're gonna be east of the campground towards Houston.
uh-huh, yep.
And it's actually, our house would be closer to the campground than this will be.
Well, if you're going to Rushford out of Houston, campground's on the right. correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
14 by 36?
Yeah, it's 530 square feet. Okay, I don't know if that's called a tiny house now, or whatever they call them, but it's the same, it's got a living room, one bedroom, one bathroom, all one level, all handicapped accessible, easy, to live in, and like a apartment size.
It sounds like a great idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, when you get older like me, you don't want to climb stairs.
No, and again, our house is not accessible for that.
Any more questions from the board? Any comments from the public? Well, I guess we can go to the findings then.
all right.
I find them.
Number one, that the variance request is in harmony with the intent and purpose of official controls. Staff analysis states that this location meets the density control system put in place by the zoning ordinance, and the comprehensive plan encourages development to take place in a manner that minimizes impact to prime ag land and sensitive natural resources such as floodplain.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right,
Opposed? Go ahead.
Two, that there are practical difficulties in complying with the official controls, and the proposed use of the property is reasonable. Economic considerations alone do not constitute practical difficulties. Staff analysis says that a single-family dwelling is a reasonable use of property, and the landowner has weighed whether to impact floodplain or request a feedlot variance. The feedlot variance is minimal, and keeping the dwelling outside of floodplain areas is likely a better option overall.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go ahead.
Three, that the variance request is due to special conditions or circumstances unique to the property and not created by the property owner. Analysis states that much of this parcel is floodplain due to proximity to the Root River, and there is already one dwelling within one of the two feasible quarters. The current dwelling or site dates to 1870 and was owned at one point by the future inhabitant of this proposed dwelling, so he is aware of any impact that the feedlot may have.
All in favor of three signify by saying aye.
Aye.
right.
Opposed? Go ahead.
Four, that the variance cannot be alleviated by reasonable method other than a variance, and the minimum variance which would alleviate the practical difficulty is sought. Analysis states that the landowners can move the structure to the east to meet the setback, but the natural ground elevations there are lower and will likely have floodplain requirements even though it is outside of FEMA floodplain. Otherwise, a septic system and floodplain limit the options for development within this quarter, so a minimal feedlot variance is likely the most reasonable method for compliance.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Opposed? Go ahead.
Five, that the variance will not alter the essential character of the locality, nor substantially impair property values or the public health, safety, or general welfare in the vicinity. Analysis states that this proposal will allow a farm dwelling which is commonly found in the Ag Protection District. In addition, the landowners operate a campground, and the addition of another dwelling will likely have minimal impact relative to the campground use.
All in favor of 5, say aye.
Right,
Opposed? Go ahead.
6, that the request is not a use variance and shall not have the effect of allowing any use that is not allowed in the zoning district, permit a lower degree of flood protection than the regulatory flood protection elevation, or permit standards lower than those required by state law. Analysis states that this is an area variance and it does not permit a lower degree of flood protection than required.
All in favor, say aye.
right.
Opposed? Carried. Motion to accept the findings.
So move.
Second,
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
right.
Opposed? Carried. The feedlot now, questions from the board if there is any. This feedlot, that's existing feedlot, correct? Yeah.
Yep.
Before we vote on this, again, I'm gonna go on record, I've done this before, I've said it over and over again, and it never changes, and it irritates me, but by granting you a variance, now what it's gonna do is require the feedlot to have a variance for any expansion or any improvements that they want. I'm not objecting to what you want, but the way this system is set up is wrong. There's apparently no way to exempt that feedlot owner from requiring a variance now that we grant yours. It just doesn't make sense to me. I've bitched about it, nobody does anything, and I just want to go on record to say that we need to fix it somehow. We could grant this existing feedlot owner essentially not be requiring him a variance for future activities, but that doesn't seem to be an option for whatever reason, and I don't get it.
I agree with you.
But I just want to go on record to say again, I object to this and I think it's wrong. We can move on.
Question for Amelia. If we change the zoning ordinance, could the wording be changed in the zoning ordinance?
We would have to eliminate the setback altogether because statute actually requires this to be a reciprocal setback.
Okay, all right. I know, you and I have talked about this many times. What happens, it doesn't have any bearing on you, but just what Ken said, the next feedlot that you grant a variance from, he has to get approval to what Ken just said. But anyway, well, I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, we're putting him in a bind by granting you
Right.
not necessarily unless he has to do it, wants to do an
Right.
expansion.
We,
So
we.
I get it.
When we did the campground, we put in language for the campground. At that time, they were getting a feedlot at the same time as their campground. It was just a reciprocal. We understand we're in a limited ag district
Yeah.
and we have to work together. And that's the thing that's really, it's hard for everybody, but I don't wanna restrict anyone from having a hobby farm and some horses and cattle or whatever they want. We want them to enjoy their property. I think you're on the right track.
Be fair, be reasonable.
Absolutely. Yep. I agree, Wayne.
So, we're ready for, are you ready for a motion?
Yeah, if you guys are.
Unless you have more questions.
No, I'm good.
Anything, Wayne?
I make a motion, we accept the zoning permit.
You want to
Variance?
read the
Yeah.
proposed?
So motion to grant a variance of 110 feet for proposed dwelling within the required 1,320-foot setback for a registered feedlot.
So move.
Second?
Any more discussion? Roll call vote.
Franklin,
Aye.
Ken Visker,
Aye.
Brannigan.
Okay.
Motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're doing a nice, I wish my kids would treat me just as well as you're treating your kids.
Thank you.
Well done. And I
I'll have
like
an
the,
excited father when I get home.
Yep.
good.
Any comments, anything from the board before we adjourn?
Oh. So I went to that,
Oh, yes, go ahead.
meeting in Mankato. And I learned a lot. I really was happy I went to that. And the thing I said about being fair and reasonable, the lawyers put this on, and they said, whenever you have a variance, and you have to be fair, you have to be reasonable, and don't kill a fly with a sledgehammer.
Well put.
Yep.
Good, thanks.
That was nice of you to report.
And he also, another thing I really got out of it was when you deny somebody, give them a reason why. Because if he appeals it, then it'll come back and the judge will look at this and say, oh, well, that's why. And this last time we denied that house in Winnebago, we did that perfectly. Because Franklin asked Amelia, is this even fair that we're doing it? And Amelia said, well, not really. We can't really change the rules on that. And then he asked about this land use plan. This book, right here. He said, this is your Bible. This is what you go by. And how many counties haven't seen this new one for 20 years? And a lot of people raised their hands. And he came down to how many counties 5 years out? Me, I was proud to say, 2 years ago we did this. The county did this. I was really happy. We probably got the newest land use plan. And so this last denial, I read on page 22 about one house per quarter, says it right here in the land use plan. It doesn't get any stronger than that.
Well,
So I don't think he could appeal that.
No, it's a use variance and I don't think we have the ability to grant a use variance. Okay, good.
we, well, that's well put and good comments, because if you document this at your meetings and it's on public record and you document why, there's really no recourse to come back at the board, is what I'm saying.
Yep. So give
Would
him a
we adjourn?
reason why.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second it, Ken made
Okay, second.
I'll first it, you second.
it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.